So we're back then with video number 2 for Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. In the previous video we had a look at the Spell Shot class. We broke down everything we know about them so far. In today's video we will have a look at the Brrr-Zerker class. Now this particular class, they're a tank style class. They've got an awesome execute mechanic, they have an enrage mechanic, and they've got a fair amount of crowd control in their kit as well. So what we will actually break down specifically in the video is we first talk about the class info we have available on the website for them. We look at their class feat next, which is essentially a powerful passive that all classes have. We'll then check out their action skills, and then moving on from that they've got 6 tiers of passives that we'll actually break down as well. So by the time we've finished this video, if you were maybe on the fence about playing this particular class, you'll know either way if you want to choose them or not. Now just before we do go in and start breaking it down, with this being a new series, a new game we are covering as well, your support is very much appreciated. So if you could leave a like and also leave a comment below, that would be absolutely fantastic. But let's jump in. We'll start off with the general class info first. So we have already touched on to an extent the actual theme of the class, but this is the official information from the website. So it states Brrr-Zerkers are specialists of melee and frost damage. The Brrr-Zerkers' otherworldly powers allow them to become enraged via their action skills. We'll see a lot of bonuses around the enrage mechanic. It also says they channel the power of frost through weaponry, so they may freeze and shatter their enemies and manifest an arsenal of raw destructive force. Brrr-Zerkers are even able to channel their bloodthirst by leeching from fallen foes using a dash of occult magic. So as we talked about earlier on in the video, a tank style class with a strong amount of crowd control as well. Now let's go in, let's break down their class feat next. So the class feat then is essentially a high level passive that each of the classes have in this. Class feat will generally define the role that the class will play. So this particular one is called Rage of the Ancients. So using an action skill, and you'll have 2 action skills, we'll check them out in just a moment, but using an action skill causes the Fate Maker to become enraged, adding bonus frost damage to their attacks. And it looks like with enemies what you can do with frost is you can slow them down. If you apply enough of that particular crowd control element, then you actually freeze them. So that's frost damage. It also states here that enraged duration will not deplete while an action skill is active. We'll see an action skill you can actually use that you can channel in just a second. And also at ends of the Fate Maker enters Save Your Soul. Activating an action skill when already enraged restores a portion of the enrage timer. So it looks like what you'll be looking to do if you want to stay in this as long as you actually can is lower the cooldowns on your action skills. Now on the subject of them, let's actually have a look at them. So the first action skill then is Dreadwind. This is essentially your classic spin to win from role playing games, and they actually call it that in the video, which is pretty funny, but this one here is called Dreadwind. So the Fate Maker spins, slashing anything nearby with their melee weapon and essentially becoming a pain tornado, grants increased movement speed and slow immunity for your duration. So the fact we've got a spin to win build in it is really pretty awesome, and it's all about seeing how high a duration you can actually get on it, so you can just spin around the map taking enemies out. So pretty awesome ability, this one. The second action skill we have here is Feral Surge. So this is a gap closer which is perfect for your tank style characters. You want to get in the face of a boss, you want to pull their aggro, and this will allow you to do that. So the description of this one, the Fate Maker leaps towards a target, dealing frost damage to all nearby enemies. So essentially you will have a chance to freeze them as well with this. And it states any non-boss enemies damaged will be instantly killed if their total hit point is below a certain percentage. We've no idea what that percentage is at the moment, but an execute mechanic for regular minions is really pretty awesome. On top of that as well, it states that if Feral Surge kills an enemy, its cooldown is reset. So if you're playing with a team, get your teammates to pull down the health on a bunch of different enemies, use this ability, kill them, get the cooldown reset, and just keep repeating it. Sounds really pretty amazing. Now that's the action skills. Let's check out the passives, and there's 6 different tiers for these. With the passives then, we have 6 tiers in total. The way this actually works is you have to put so many points into one tier before you can unlock the next one. With the passives as well, I'll just say they perhaps don't look as impactful as some of the other tooltips we've already looked at in the video, but when you add all these up, they will certainly make a difference to your character. Now, we start off with tier number 1 here, so you've got Ancestral Frost, so frost damage is increased. You've got Savagery, melee damage is increased, and then Enraged duration is increased. We have Unyielding next, this is your tank-based passive. A percentage of missing health regenerates over time, while enraged this effect is doubled. So that is tier 1. Let's have a look at tier 2. For the second tier then, we have some passives that are a bit more complicated than the first one that were really pretty simple. We start off with Icebreaker, so the Fate Maker gains increased damage dealt to enemies that are slowed. The closer an enemy is to being frozen, the more damage is increased. So again, I mentioned it earlier in the video, but what I take from this is the way this particular crowd control element works is you'll slow the enemy, apply enough stack, then it looks like you will actually freeze them. The second one we have here is the Old Ways, so the Fate Maker deals bonus damage and gains increased damage reduction the closer they are to an enemy. The closer the enemy is, the greater the bonus, perfect for a tank class that should be in the enemy's face. And if you think back, we've got that action skill which is a gap closer, which allows you to get straight in their face and then get the full benefits from this passive as well. So this looks really nice. And then we have Instinct. This one here, obviously I've not played the class yet, so I don't really know, but overall this doesn't really look too great to me because the character really is one that I think you have to play as a tank to get the most out of them. But this one here is Instinct. Reload speed is increased and weapon swap speed is increased, and while you're enraged the effect from this is doubled as well. With tier 3 here, we start off with Cold Snap, so with this, movement speed is increased and frost efficiency is increased, while enraged this effect is doubled. So you can see already we have quite a few abilities where the passive bonus you get from them will double if you're enraged, so you really want to lean into this with this build. We have Unarmoured Defense next. A portion of the Fate Maker's ward is reserved and cannot be restored, but their maximum health is increased by a percentage of the reserved amount, and health can no longer be reserved. And then finishing up this tier we have Blood Frenzy, so this is a kill skill, so be on enemy defeat. Restore a percentage of your enraged timer and a percentage of your maximum health. We have two different passives here for tier 4. You have Ancient Fury, which is your tank passive. So this one, maximum health is increased and splash damage is increased as well. It looks like you'll probably be using explosive style weapons or ones with splash damage on them with this class. And then we have Relentless Rage. So if the Fate Maker damages an enemy while in Save Your Soul, imagine Save Your Soul will be when you're actually downed. It states that the duration is extended, the amount extended decreases over time, and killing an enemy while in Save Your Soul will cause the Fate Maker to become enraged, and then you'll get all those different bonuses we talked about earlier on when it's doubling various different passives. For tier 5 here, we start off with Blast Chill, so whenever the Fate Maker deals melee damage to an enemy, there is a chance to release a Frost Nova, dealing frost ability damage to nearby enemies, and Frost Nova cannot critically hit. I'm hoping the Spin to Win ability will be classed as a melee damage ability. You would think it would, but sometimes games can be a bit strange. If it is, when you're spinning round and you have the chance to release a Frost Nova, then that's going to be really pretty awesome. On to the next one, which is Iron Squall. So fire rate is increased, melee attack speed is increased, and while enraged, the effect from this is doubled as well. Now let's check out the final passive tier. When it comes to the final tier, there will only be one option available, but it always looks like it will be really pretty powerful from what I've seen so far with the characters I've covered. This one here is called Blood of the Fallen, so the Fate Maker's remaining action skill cooldown is reduced by a percentage when defeat an enemy. If an action skill is currently active, its duration is extended instead, so this could be one that could really help you get the high uptime on Enrage. And again, there's various different tooltips I've looked at that will double the bonuses you get from passives when you're in Enrage. So this particular class looks like you can play them as a Spin to Win Berserker class with Frost Novas firing off everywhere, which sounds pretty amazing, and it looks like you can play them as a heavy tank style class as well. So that is the Berserker, that's the Berserker and the Spell Shot now covered. Let me know in the comments below which character you would like to see a breakdown of next, and as always, thanks for tuning in, stay safe, and I'll see you all again soon.